Hey everybody, hope everybody's doing well. This is going to just be an update, some things I've been working on. So first off, if I can open this up, I made some changes to the whole color pickers that I had set up. I realized that there was a lot of colors that I couldn't even select with the previous version that I made. Specifically anything from white to gray, or like adding a gray component wasn't really possible. So I changed those. And I got this little demo where I can select the different vehicles, and I've got my render target in the middle, and I can change the colors. So some of the vehicles only have one color. Some, like the ambulance, don't have any colors I can change because it didn't really make sense. The bus has two, and you get the idea. I've got all these different little vehicles I can play around with, and yeah, it's kind of fun. And what I'm doing for this is, of course, I'm using Ultralight for this whole UI here. And I have a div here, and I can get the rect for that div. And then in my DirectX code, I'm creating a render target where that rect is at. So like if I resize the window, when that whole HTML view gets resized, I do another callback with the new dimensions for this rect after it's been adjusted, and then I resize my render target and reposition it so that it'll match up with wherever this div is at. And just to go through, these are the other vehicles I have in here. So I'm pretty excited about actually starting to play with some vehicles instead of some box cars that I'm driving around. So now let's talk about the next thing I've been working on, when this has been kind of a much bigger headache than I thought it was going to be. So I believe I have mentioned using this library in the past, this VHACD, and I'm going to be using it I was going to be using it for generating a combination of convex hulls, because when you have a dynamic object in Jolt, I can't use the mesh shape. Like I can't use all the triangles to build the shape. I have to use simpler shapes when it's dynamic. If it's a static shape that doesn't move, like, terrain or a tree or something, then mesh shape's perfectly fine. But if it's something that's going to be moving and is actually, being simulated, then I need to use simpler shapes. So I thought, okay, I'll check out this library and use it. And I just assumed, I wouldn't have any issues. Well, I ran into a couple of issues. So the first issue, I had actually made a post about on their GitHub repository. So I was decomposing the different meshes that make up my object. And that's because I didn't want this one giant mesh for the whole thing. And so, for example, I had this window, which is it's a total of 6 points technically, right? 2 triangles. And I wanted to generate just a shape that could represent this. And it was giving me back 8 different shapes to make up this one window. When, you would expect one shape, you wouldn't expect... it's very simple. It's about as simple as it gets, right? And apparently, since this uses voxelization, and there's no real volume for the window, because it's perfectly flat, it was causing all kinds of weird issues. And I tried extruding it, and then doing it again, and I don't know, maybe my normals were facing the wrong way. I still had issues. So then I was like, all right, you know what? I'll wait on this part. And I'll first try experimenting with some static objects. So I had this cottage that I downloaded a long time ago. I don't remember where I downloaded this from, or else I would say. And I went through with different parameters, generating the different combination of convex hull shapes for this, right? So this is a pretty simple shape. There's not that many vertices. There's probably like 1,000 vertices or something on this. So let's look at... I had a few different ones that I generated. So first off, you see... there's some weird things going on here. Specifically, this roof, right, is all messed up. And then the top, or like the roof for this little side part that comes out, and then the top roof connecting to this building is just like weird things happening, right? Because we compare this to the original mesh, and it just doesn't look right. And then we have this little, I don't know the right terminology, but the roof on the roof, right? And when I open this back up, it doesn't look good, right? It looks really bad, actually. So then I was like, okay, well, I had a maximum of 64 shapes when I generated that. Maybe I have to turn it up. And maybe I have to change to use raycast instead of flood fill, whatever that means. I don't really know. I didn't read too much into it. I was just trying the different settings. So we go to 128 shapes with up to 128 verts per shape, which it wasn't, or 128 points, but it wasn't using that many points for the shapes. It was just generating a lot of shapes. And I also changed the amount of recursion that the whole algorithm does. It makes it take a little longer, but it's supposed to be better results. This looks better, but honestly, it's still not good, especially for how simple of a shape this is. So then I tried with, some other parameters. I was like, okay, it's all of them have some things that look better, some things that look worse. This one overall looks pretty decent. And then I think this was probably the best one, but it's still bad, right? So then I asked on the Jolt GitHub, I was like, what should I do here? And the author told me, if it's a static object, I don't even have to generate convex hull shapes for it. As long as the shape is not, a ton of vertices, then I can just use the triangles and build a mesh shape. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes perfect sense. And what he suggested was, if it is a complicated shape, to use something like Simplygon to cut down on the vertices. So I have something. I got this library called Mesh Optimizer. I was going to play around with that, but I need to get a more complicated mesh to play with because it can't really optimize much out of this. But if I had a more complicated shape, I could maybe reduce it quite a bit. But so I am using I'm building a physics shape and I'm storing it in my custom 3D format, and it is made up of triangles. And this is what that looks like. So I'm going to start up my little demo here. And see, I've got my building back here now. And it works great. Just what I wanted. Now there's a couple things, right, you might notice. Having trouble driving over these stairs, and there's a few reasons for that. Part of that is because the scale of everything's all messed up, right? I mean, this house is huge compared to, this is my character, right? Standing up to this door. The door is like almost 3 times taller than me. The steps are, about a third of my height, a quarter of my height. They're very big. And it's the same idea with this. So there's a few things. First off, I need to maybe in the future look at having the option to have a secondary mesh inside of my GLTF file that just gets referenced for collision. And I can do things like, if I have stairs, instead of having the collider be the stairs, I would draw a ramp, right? And the ramp wouldn't be used when rendering. It would only be used when building the collision data. The next thing is, for my vehicle, I want to be able to, build that proper physics body and load in all those cool vehicles I was looking at before instead of just driving a box around everywhere. And in order to do that, I need to figure out what I'm going to do about these convex hull shapes. And you saw I did not like the results with VHACD. I'm going to have to do a lot of manual work with that, I think. And so there's another, or did I even call it the right thing? Yeah, VHACD. There's another library called CoACD. And I haven't really experimented with it. I think it's going to be a bit more work to get it set up. But I was going to try this out. Allegedly, they act like they, generate shapes that are more accurate and also just they decompose objects into less shapes, and it also looks to be more accurate compared to VHACD. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. I'm also wondering if it'll be able to handle shapes where all the points are on the same plane, where there's no real volume to the shape. because this is perfectly valid in Jolt. In the Jolt convex hull shape example, there's perfectly flat objects. Let me see if I can get this to run, and I can show you right now. All right, cool. So if I go to select test, shapes, I go to convex hull shape, what you'll see right here is, this is a perfectly valid scenario in Jolt where you have a convex hull shape with no volume. So I want to be able to have a way to generate that. The last thing I'm thinking is, once I get this figured out and I can quote-unquote automatically generate it for the vehicles, I might need to look into making an editor where I can edit the physics colliders that get generated and have, where the user can manually do it, which will be more time consuming, but it'll also be much more performant and possibly more accurate. Or, just if something small needs to be adjusted, it could be nice. We'll see. Still, it's gonna be a bit of a headache, I think, to get this convex hull generation thing working to where it's efficient and automatic. But, well, maybe it won't. I don't know. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll update you guys as soon as I get something going. And that's all I really got for now.